time to meet the men from the ministry. Join us now as we take our 100th ride on the Whitehall roundabout with Norma, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, guest star Clive Dunn, and the men from the ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Ministry men tackle a wide range of jobs and bring to each a degree of enthusiasm not far short of indifference. In the General Assistance Department, top executives are at this moment grappling with the distribution of essential supplies.
Now, here you are, old chap. Have a bit of fruitcake. You like that, don't you, eh, Rod?
The pigeons don't seem so hungry this morning. I think someone else has been feeding them.
Oh, that Home Office mob, I dare say. Yeah. There's nothing better to do with their time, you know. Yeah. Now, come along, Oscar. Pick up the crumbs. There's a good boy. We don't want a messy windowsill, do we? Oh, apparently we do.
Here, dear.
Oh, 11 sis. Thank you, Mildred. Put it on the desk, will you? We're just feeding the pigeons, dear.
Yes, so I see. They appreciate it.
Oh, they do. Don't you, Raquel?
We've given them all names, you see.
Oh.
Yeah.
That one with the puffed-out chest is Raquel.
This one I called Oscar. He's rather wild. Has some peculiar habits.
And you see that shifty-looking one over there on the left?
Yes.
That's Harold.
Yes, well, he likes to sit on the fence. But he keeps falling off because he's always trying to face both ways.
And this one here is Nemesis. I'm training him to dive bomb the permanent Undersecretary's bowler hat.
By the way, sir, Sir Gregory rang. He'd be dropping in to check on those airport jobs.
It's London's new airport, you know. They're opening it next week.
Yes, sir. You know, I still reckon it's daft, though. I mean, building London's fourth airport in the north of Scotland.
It's the nearest to London they could get it, you see, without upsetting any residents.
Well, have you done the brochure, sir? I mean, it goes to press tomorrow.
Yes, we have, Mildred. How does this sound? The government is proud to announce the opening of London's newest and finest airport at Glenboggie. Although Scotland is somewhat outside central London, a fleet of coaches will whisk travellers from the airport to the heart of the metropolis in under 24 hours.
That's very nicely put, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, I think Sir Gregory will find that everything's in hand when he calls today.
Yeah, he won't be able to storm at us and bellyache like he usually does.
Now then, I want a word with you.
Good morning, Sir Bellyache. Good storming, Sir... Here.
Now, about the opening of this new airport.
Everything is under control, sir.
Is that so? Everything's under control, eh? What about this party for all the VIPs who are flying in on the first planes? What about that, eh?
It's all arranged, sir. A marquee's been put up specially for the occasion.
Yes, so I understand. A large tent has been erected in the middle of the main runway. You tell me why?
Because it might rain, Sir Gregory.
What?
Pay no attention to my colleague, Sir Gregory. He'll be better when the full moon's past. No, I'd no idea the tent had been put in the middle of the runway, I assure you.
It's ludicrous.
Well, of course it is, sir. Absolutely ludicrous. Be far too windy there. Yes. Now, we'll get that marquee moved.
Well, in future, there'll be less bungling all round. An efficiency expert arrives at the ministry tomorrow.
An efficiency expert?
Miss Warboys.
Oh, what exactly will she do, Sir Gregory?
Miss Warboys
Yes.
will weed out incompetence, inefficiency, and slackness. And that'll be just the beginning.
Ah.
So watch it. You have been warned.
Ooh, I've heard about Miss Warboys. They call her the Beast with Harris Tweed knickers.
Yes, well, I've been thinking of taking some leave, too.
You can't run. It's the airport opening next week.
Pity.
I'm all right, sir. My leave's already booked.
Oh, yes, you're off tonight, aren't you? You're going to Tar Beach again?
That's right, sir. Theology camp.
But you had a week there last year, and you said the goings-on were disgraceful.
Yes, sir. This year we booked a fortnight. Here, I hope you'll be able to manage while I'm away. I mean, making your own tea and everything.
I don't think you need worry about that, Mildred. We're not fools, you know.
How many spoonfuls of tea should I use one?
Well, let's see, there's only two of us, so, wait a minute, 12 should do it. No, two. Don't push it down the spout. Lift the lid off the kettle and spoon it straight in.
Sorry, Ron. Perhaps you'd better make it.
Yes, very well, perhaps I'd better.
Now then, you two.
Oh, Sir Gregory, how nice of you to drop in. Lovely weather we've been having. I hope you're keeping well.
Oh, stop chattering, Lennox-Brown. Lamb, you're not making tea, are you?
No, Sir Gregory.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
I couldn't manage it, so Mr. Lennox-Brown's making it.
No. Quiet, man. Quiet. Now, this airport business. Some of the installations up there have been tested and found wanting.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Well, the luggage arrangements, for instance.
Oh, dear, you mean they're not working?
Well, they're working, but not in the best airport tradition.
Oh.
As it stands, passengers could collect their luggage immediately after landing.
And that's not good?
Well, of course it isn't. Passengers expect a long wait. Good for discipline. Also, the system must be amended so that one suitcase in 5 goes missing or is burst open.
Yes, I see.
Well, we don't want travelers getting fancy ideas, or we'll have to change all the other airports.
Quite so, yeah.
And a loudspeaker system is hopeless. It seems you can hear every word.
Dear me, shocks of that kind could upset the public, yes. Well, we have it dealt with at once, sir.
And you know, of course, there's an inaugural flight from London arriving in time for this party you organised.
Oh, yes, sir, yes. And you'll be aboard, will you, sir?
Correct. I shall be travelling with a PM, so I shan't be in the office that day.
No.
Miss Warboys will be in charge.
Yes. Oh, the efficiency expert, sir. Yes, yes. She's arrived, has she, sir?
Indeed she has. And she's already making an impact on the department. I suggest you tidy this ghastly office before she calls.
We hear she's a bit of a dragon, sir.
Yes, I believe she does terrify people at your level. She doesn't frighten me, of course.
Aha! I want a word with you.
Miss Warboys. Well, how nice of you to drop in. Lovely weather we've been having, what? I hope you're keeping well.
Oh, be quiet, man, and stop chattering.
Oh, yes, Miss Warboys.
And don't just stand there with your mouth open, Pitkin. You look as half-baked as these two. You are Lennox-Brown and Lamb, I take it?
Yes.
My purpose in this department is to look for zeal and proficiency.
Oh, you won't find any here, I promise you.
That will do, Lamb.
Be quiet, Pitkin, and do not interrupt.
Sorry.
Miss Warboys, may we offer you some refreshment? You know, a cup of tea, perhaps? And I'm sure my colleague would be pleased to press you to a sponge cake.
Tea, most certainly not. I will not have staff indulging in revelry and licentious behavior. From today, there will be no more tea breaks.
Quite right, Miss Warboys. Be firm with them. There's far too much slackness in this department.
Indeed there is, Pitkin. You, for instance, standing around this office like a street corner layabout. Now get back to your desk at once.
Oh, yes, now.
And don't let me catch you at your window again, peering at the girls in the typing pool.
Really, Ma'am, I do no such thing.
That reminds me, Sir Gregory, we've had your binoculars repaired, as you asked.
Oh, yes, thank you. Well, goodbye, Miss Warboys.
Bah! Now then, you two, I hope I've made myself plain.
Very.
There's been a great deal of time wasting in this ministry. You'll scarcely believe it, but some members of staff actually feed pigeons on the windowsill.
No, good heavens, don't say so.
Dreadful, right?
Exactly. Of course, I realize you wouldn't do that sort of thing here.
Oh, certainly not. Here you are, Raquel. You've got a special bumper bundle.
By Jove, too, are you sure Miss Warboys is out this morning?
Yes, I heard it from old Matthews. She's at the Civil Service Training School giving a display of karate.
Well, I must say, it's nice to relax.
There's a new bird here today. Keeps flying onto my head.
Watch out, might be a woodpecker.
No, it's a pigeon, all right, and he's got something tied to his leg.
Good Lord, so he has. I believe that's a carrier pigeon. Come here, old chap, and let's have a look at you, will you? Come on. There you are. You see, it's just a message. It is. Look, it's addressed to us.
So it is. To the General Assistance Department.
Who's it from?
It says from the Observer Post on Ben Bogle.
Ben Bogle? Wait a minute. That's a mountain in Scotland. You remember? Yes. We helped on army postings in the 1940s.
Oh?
Well, go on, read the message to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Urgent. Please send more corned beef.
What?
Only 100 tins left. Last lot supplied 1944. Baked beans not needed. Assuring you of continued vigilance in His Majesty's service, Percy Hardstaff Private.
Percy Hardstaff Private, corn, beef, 19 foot. What is all this?
The message is dated last week. It's on army paper.
Extraordinary. Almost as if there was someone up there who still thinks the war's on.
There couldn't be. Could there?
Of course not, too. Yes, I don't know. I mean, people have blundered in the past, haven't they?
You mean someone forgot to discharge him?
Well, I suppose it is possible. Here, we'd better get down to records and check.
Yes.
Let's get this sorted out before Miss Warboys hears about it.
Yes.
There could have been a mistake, you know. They weren't all that efficient here in the war. At least. Not until we arrived.
I remember once. It took us months to raise the standard.
Yes, well, let's hope Mr. Stack's not come to lunch yet.
Mr. Stack?
Mr. Stack of Records. Hello. Looks as though he has. No one about.
What a dreary place. Just rows and rows of metal drawers.
What's that? I can hear a noise like snoring, too.
So can I think it's coming from that filing cabinet.
Well, open the door. Go on, the one marked X.
Right, yes. I say, there's a man sleeping inside.
I say, that must be Mr. Stack. Do you know, I've heard about him now, come to think of it.
Yes?
Yes. If things are quiet, he files himself in a drawer and goes to sleep. Go on, wake him up. Wake.
Right.
Hello. Time to get up, is it?
Oh, I'm so sorry to disturb you, old chap, but we have an urgent query, you see. Army postings.
We want to look up a Private Percy Hardstaff.
Yes.
Oh, well, if you wouldn't mind helping me out.
Right.
Now then, army posting,
Yes.
other ranks. Well, they're over here. Just have to move me bicycle. Hard stuff, did you say?
That's right. Private Percy Hardstaff.
Here we are. Hard stuff, Percy Private.
Same fella.
Sent to observer post, Summit of Benbogo, June 1940. Oh, that's odd. His card's not been stamped. Oh, it's very odd.
Well, why should his card have been stamped?
Well, to show he was demobilized after the war. According to this, he should still be there.
Surely not.
No, it must simply be a paper error. Oh, there was some pretty shoddy work in those days, you know.
Yes, well, that's just what we were saying, Mr. Stack. A lot of old muddlers about, you know.
It'll tell us on the back who was responsible for the job. Oh, yes, Mr. Lennox-Brown and Mr. Lamb. Oh, well, that explains it.
Does it?
Yeah, the biggest pair of idiots in the building, I hear. Do you know them at all?
No, I've never heard of them.
No. They can't be so daft they forgot to discharge him. No doubt they just didn't bother to stamp his card. Well, excuse me, I'm off to lunch. It's been all go this morning.
We have to do something about this, too. Now, where exactly is Benbogo?
There's a map of Scotland on the wall.
Oh, let's have a look. Yes, wait a minute. Here it is. Oh, good grief.
What is it?
Well, it's just beside Glenboggie, the new airport.
Oh, dear.
The place will be swarming with pressmen next week.
Oh.
If they get hold of this story, they'll murder us. Now, we must get up there at once. Hush this thing up, sort it out quickly.
But I can still hardly believe it. Someone up there who still thinks the war's on. Can it really be true? Here we are. Good old Vera. Oh, what a lovely voice. Oh, yes. It's one of the nicest voices I've ever heard. I love you, I love you. Oh, those tones. Oh, I'm sorry, Vera. Bloody gramophone. I'm not winding you up again, matey. I've got other things to do. What's that, Gert? Yes, Daisy must have reached London by now. She'll be all right, don't you worry. Go there myself? Not likely. I turn my back for a minute, them jelly planes will be across this coast in no time. What's that? Someone coming? Blimey, you're right. There's two men coming up our mountain with a big wooden crate. Here, maybe that's the corned beef. Or they could be Jerry's spies. Yeah. They're dressed a bit funny for spies, though, aren't they? Yeah, got bowler hats and black jackets. Still, let's be on the safe side. I'll put on my tin hat and camouflage, and I shall go and intercept them. Now, come on, get out of it. Now, come on, get out, Elsie. I want to wear this hat.
Oh, stop fussing, too. Corned beef isn't all that heavy. And if we sent this crate by post, the whole thing would have come out.
Yes, Ron, but why do I have to carry it?
Because I am carrying my umbrella and briefcase. Anyway, we're almost there now. Oh, dear me. That must be the observation post.
Thank heavens for that. I say, it's got a gun outside.
Well, of course it has. These posts are designed to prevent enemy aircraft coming in over the coast.
I can't see anyone about. Oh! Who am I?
Who said that?
I think it was that bush over there.
Good Lord, it's moving towards us.
Oh. Advance and be rectified. And put your hands up.
This must be Hardstaff, too. Best put your hands up.
Yes, right.
Ah, you idiot, you've dropped the corned beef.
What's that? Corned beef? Did you say corned beef? So you're on our side. You're not two of them.
I beg your pardon. Now, look here. We brought your supplies from London. See? We are here from the ministry.
God bless you, sir. And your Batman. Come along into my little pillbox and tell me how the war's going. Well, actually, Mr. Hardstaff...
Quiet. We've got to break the news gently. Thank you very much, Mr. Hardstaff. We'll give you all the news in a moment.
Yeah, you get a bit cut off up here, you know. Now then. Come in, sir. Make yourselves at home. It's been my home for more than 30 years.
Yes, we realise that. And I dare say there have been times when you've felt rather lonely.
Lonely, sir? Lonely? Up here on the mountaintop with the cry of the curlew of a morning, the owls hooting of an evening, and my friends the pigeons to talk to all day? Yes, I've been ruddy lonely. It's all a bit different now, Mr. Hardstaff. I tell you something else, sir. You get terrible wind up here. It's them baked beans, sir. I have them with the corned beef, you see. So
yes, well, we've brought you some rather good news, actually.
Oh, Rubble's on the run, is he?
No.
I said our lads would have him. I've got some cocoa brewing, sir. We'll all have a drop to celebrate.
Yes, well, that's very kind.
I don't get many visitors up here, you know. As a matter of fact, you're the first human men I've seen since 1943. You haven't seen another human face since 1943? Well, not in the flesh, sir. Of course, I've got my little Doris to look at. That's her photo on the shelf, sir. Oh, she's my young lady. She'll be waiting for me when this lot's over down in London. You won't catch her up the pally with the Yanks. Here's your mug of cocoa, sir.
Thank you very much. That's very kind.
That mug's been a good friend of me, sir. Every night for 30 years I've put my teeth in there.
Excuse me, Mr. Hardstaff, but I think they're still in there.
Don't you worry, sir. A spot of cocoa won't harm them. Now then, tell me about dear old London.
Hardstaff, you haven't been listening to your wireless lately, have you?
No, sir, not lately, sir, because the batteries went out in 1942, sir. But I got my old gramophone. And, of course, you haven't had television? No, sir, no. I've had very good health, sir, except for such a... He doesn't even know what television is.
But you don't see the newspapers, then?
Well, I used to, sir, but the boy got fed up delivering.
Oh, really?
Well, it was 6 miles up with the morning paper, and he'd no sooner got back than he had to start up again with the evening. He chucked it in, he did, you see. Where are you going? I'm going to fetch some corned beef. We'll have a bit of supper, eh?
Oh, now, listen. One of us has got to tell him the war's over. Yes. There's been an awful mistake. Yes. How are you going to do it?
Well, we could... Why me? We both forgot him.
Well, you're better with words, too, you know, and besides, you're my junior. So do it, will you do it?
Here we are, then. Nice bit of bully. We have to share the plate with the pigeons, but you won't mind that. There's a war on. The thing is, Mr. Hardstaff, there isn't. The war's over. It finished in 1945, you see, but we forgot to mob you, and we're sorry, and please don't be cross.
What's that?
What said I hear? The war's over. Don't talk nonsense.
Well, it's true, Hardstaff. I mean, now we're good friends with Germany.
What? Never. Don't you give me that. I know what you're up to. I can see your little game. You're collaborators, aren't you? Quizzlings.
Now, look here.
I'm not going to look anywhere. But you want me to desert my post, don't you? Give in to Hitler and let him walk in with his Gestapo. Mr. Churchill said it. It'll be a long, hard struggle. Please don't wave that banner. It might go off. Well, you better go off first. Go on, clear off. Clear off, the pair of you. Go on, scram.
We'd better
go on, off you
Let's
go.
go. Yes.
You get back to London and tell them there's plenty of us aren't licked yet. Any planes come across this coast, I'll blast them out of the skies. Go on, get off, and don't come back. What are we going to do?
Oh, well, let him stew in his own juice for a bit, and then we'll go back with some proof.
He could do a lot of damage with that gun, couldn't he? Lucky there aren't any planes about.
Just a minute. Glenboggie Airport opens tomorrow.
Oh, dear.
There'll be planes coming right overhead.
Oh, and there's the PM's inaugural flight at 11.
Oh, good Lord, we can't wait. We must sort him out now. Open up, Hardstaff, will you? I have something to say to you.
Oh, yeah? You changed your mind, have you? You're going to fight for your country after all.
I don't like to use physical force on a small man like yourself, Hardstaff, but I'm afraid Mr. Lamb is going to have to.
What? Oh, he is he? Right. Oh! Yeah, unarmed combat they call that, you know, because sometimes it tears your arm off. That was page 53. Big one.
Now, steady on, Hardstaff. Don't you try that on me.
All right, you have page 54. Yeah, that's right, you lie there quietly while I try and remember my knots. Nice stout bit of rope.
There'll be a plane over here at 11 tomorrow. Now, you mustn't shoot at it.
Oh, so that's it, eh? Carrying some of your jelly friends, is it? Well, we're in for a nasty surprise.
Pitkin here is just checking on tomorrow's inaugural flight. What? Well, you never know what may come up. Now, I thought a few snacks on the flight. Hmm? Oh, nothing much. Caviar, perhaps. A pheasant or two. Haunch of venison and champagne, of course. Yes. You got that? Splendid. Goodbye.
Now then, Pitkin.
Hi, Miss Warboys.
Why have I not been invited on this inaugural flight to Glenboggie?
Why?
Yes.
Well, it's a rather uncomfortable aircraft, you know, and there won't be any food or drink, except perhaps a few biscuits.
I'm glad to hear it. I wouldn't like this to be an occasion for self-indulgence.
No.
And by the way, I'm told Lamb at Lennox-Brown put a marquee on the runway.
They did, yes, but I told them to have it moved. It has been attended to.
Good, good. And where are the fools today?
I gather they've gone up to Scotland. I imagine they're rather tied up there.
How long are you going to keep us trussed up like this?
You think yourself lucky you haven't been shot? That's what they used to do to traitors, you know. They were shot and then imprisoned for life.
Time to.
It's 5 to 11.
Oh, glory, the Prime Minister's plane will be over any minute.
Don't try that on me, matey. If it is Mr. Churchill, he'll be on a British plane, like a Wellington or a Tiger Moth or a Halifax. I'm not going to shoot at that, am I? But if it's a foreign plane, I'll have it down in no time.
That does it, too. He's not going to recognize the comet.
Oh, dear. He's getting his ammunition out.
Oh, and look at that box. Look at it. It says, supplied by the General Assistance Department. Oh, the irony of it. We supplied those shells back in 1942.
Ready? Yes. Now then. I say there's a plane coming, all right. Just to wait till I get my specs on. That'll be the PM's plane, man. Right. It's a Jerry. Well, it must be. It's not one of ours. Right, you horrible hounds. Come and get it!
Oh, this is awful, too. Sitting here helpless while he shoots down the PM's plane. And Sir Gregory's aboard as well.
Yes, I suppose it is that to be said about it. No, he's going a bit fast, ain't he? Well, that won't save you, matey. I got you right in my sights. Now then! Blast it, Hunt. They started using metal aeroplanes. I'll have you, you nasty nuts, eh? Oh, they got away. The ammo's no ruddy good. Here, these shells are blanks. All of them. Blanks? You blooming useless pest. You sent me crates of blank ammunition all those years ago. Oh, dear. That must have been one of the first clangers I dropped.
Yeah, well, thank heavens you did, too.
Well, yes and no. I've just remembered I was supposed to send live ammunition here and blanks to the training school at Aldershot. No wonder so few completed the course.
And here is the news read by John Curl. Drama today at the opening of London's new airport. The first plane into Glenboggie, carrying the Prime Minister and other leading figures, narrowly avoided flying into the nearby mountain Ben Bogle. Eyewitnesses said a collision would have occurred had the pilot not been alerted by a warning burst of blank gunfire from the top of the mountain itself. The ministry spokesman, Mr. Deryck Lennox-Brown, later said that because they felt the mountain was a hazard, they had recently installed an observer post there. He himself had assisted in firing the gun, which explained why he still had his fingers crossed. At the airport itself, there was a slight hitch in the inaugural luncheon. The marquee was erected in a quiet area, but by some oversight, the tables were set up on the main runway. In consequence, the Prime Minister stepped off his plane into a bowl of jelly and custard. He shrugged off the incident, saying he didn't get upset over trifles.
Well, there all the papers run. Hardstaff could be discharged as soon as he returns his army knife and fork.
Oh, I have those here, too. Yes, he handed them over when we first got down to London. He's calling this morning, by the way.
I wonder how he likes the big city after all this time.
Well, very much, I should think, with 30 years back pay to spend.
He's quite bright, really, the way he finally twigged the war was over when I got that banana from my briefcase.
Well, that's the sort of thing he's missed, too. Did you see him at Euston Station, stuffing himself with fruit and chocolate from the kiosk?
The pity about the British Rail uniforms, though. He thought they were Nazi paratroops.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about it. He'll be having the time of his life.
You asked me to drop in.
Oh, yes, Mr. Hardstaff. What's it like to be back in London, eh?
Oh, awful, sir. My old pub's been turned into a supermarket, whatever that is. And all the traffic, sir. I waited hours for a tram, but it never got through.
What about the new things? Discotheques, the flyovers, American-style chicken burgers?
No, I ate them, sir. I went into one of them listener technicals. I was chatting up this bird with the long blonde hair. It turned out to be a fella.
Chatting up a bird, Mr. Hardstaff. And what about your girlfriend, Doris?
Well, that's the trouble, sir. I can't find her. No one knows where she lives anymore. I think she may have gone in the Blitz.
Oh, dear me. But, I mean, surely London has something to offer you.
No, sir, I don't like it. I'm going back to Ben Bogle, sir, to my little pillbox. There's peace and quiet there.
I thought you said it was lonely.
Nah, it'll be all right, sir. I bought a new record for my gramophone and plenty of batteries for the wireless. If I just had my little Doris, sir, we'd be smug as a bug in a rug.
Now then, you two, I want a word with you.
Warboys.
I'm sorry about the tables on the runway. When I told them to move the marquee, I forgot to tell them to move the furniture in the side, and if I'd known they weren't going to, I'd never have done it.
Did you say Warboys? It is. It is. It's my own little Doris Warboys who knitted my balaclava helmet.
What? Percy Hardstaff. My Percy. Where have you been? I've waited for you all these years.
Doris, don't cry, my little darling there. Come on, blow for Percy. I'll tell you all about it if you come with me to Scotland, my darling.
Percy, I'll come with you anywhere.
Yes, come along, my
I've
darling.
waited all
You've
these
got the
years.
same lovely elbows, you little darling.
Well, would you believe it? I don't think we're needed here, too.
Quite right, one. Let's go and have a nice cup of tea.
Good night.
Topping their crown as the men from the ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and guest star Clive Dunn as Percy Hardstaff. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor.
Time to meet the men from the ministry. You're invited once again to take your seats at the Whitehall Spectacular with Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and the men from the ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. In government work, it's important to preserve detachment, to avoid becoming emotionally involved. But sometimes when one is confronted with a really appalling outrage, it's hard to suppress one's feelings.
A very ugly business, too. We must tread on this with a firm hand.
Stop the rot before it spreads.
Quite. If we let this firm beat the Trades Description Act, others will do the same. Boiling baked beans, indeed.
Lovely cup of char.
Tea time, yes. We'll put the tray on the cabinet, would you, Mildred, so that Mr. Lamb and I can carry on working?
Righty. What? Carry on working during the tea break? You all right, Mr. Lennox-Brown?
Perfectly, thank you, Mildred. Yes.
Yeah, and what are you doing with that risotto? Aren't you having your usual cakes and biscuits?
Surely you know what we're doing, Mildred.
No.
No? Oh, no, of course you were away last week, weren't you? Yeah, one of your colds, was it?
Oh, no, sir. I've got rid of them now. I take honey every day.
Oh, what was the trouble then?
I was attacked by a swarm of bees.
Well, we're doing this vital job for the Board of Trade, you see. They needed a couple of OAFS.
Well, there's no answer to that, is there?
Yes, we're oafs, Mildred. Yes, official advisors on food standards.
The government has set up a couple of committees to defend the nation's stomachs.
And we've agreed to sit on them.
We went to a factory yesterday and their meat pies had real meat in them. Totally unnecessary extravagance.
And we found that cafe on the corner is serving the most appalling hamburgers.
No, you mean hamburgers.
No, Mildred, hamburgers. The manager's hat fell in the minter.
Now we've discovered one firm are boiling their baked beans, and they're putting too many in a tin.
Go on.
Well, we intend to put a stop to it.
We certainly do. Those baked bean people are going to get the wind up.
Even these donuts, you know, don't conform to ministry standards. The dollop of jam isn't exactly in the centre.
I'm prepared to force mine down, but I shall certainly bring it up at the Board of Trade.
By the way, Sir Gregory said he was coming over.
The Permanent Under Secretary?
I'll let him come too. Sir Gregory doesn't frighten me. Even though he is a proper little Hitler. Aha! There you are. Oh, hello, Sir Adolf. I mean, Sir Gregory. What was that you said? Shocking weather we're having. Eh, too?
Oh, very naughty. Naughty.
Why is it that every time I enter this office, you all look like startled ferrets? You're not afraid of me, are you?
Yes. We're not, Sir Gregory.
Now, as you know, the Civil Service Staff magazine has an article each month about people in various departments.
Oh, yes. Last month they did that chap from pensions, Mr. Shorthouse.
Yes, pity about the misprint.
Well, for the next issue, they've decided, for some unaccountable reason, to interview you two.
My word. An article about us in the staff magazine.
How exciting.
Yes.
I've always wanted to be in it.
Well, if you put a foot wrong, you will be in it up to your necks. It's vital that you project a good image for this department. Otherwise, you'll answer to me.
Yes, Sir Gregory.
Now, Miss Groper, who edits the magazine, will come see you tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, interview with Miss Groper, eh? Now, that should be very pleasant.
You won't have one of your nervous fits, will you, Lamb?
Oh, no, Sir Gregory. I'm not scared of interviews. I shall just open my mouth and throw myself into it.
Yes. Well, you'd better do the talking, Lennox-Brown. I've always considered you the lesser of two evils.
Well, thank you.
Now try, do try, not to let me down again. Please?
Fancy, an article in the staff magazine.
Yes, well, I'm surprised they haven't featured us before, you know. I mean, there can't be many people doing the sort of thing we do.
That's true.
Perhaps after all this, they'll publish some of my poems. I've been submitting them for years, and they always turn them down.
Oh, still, they did write you a note last time.
Yes, the editor said your poem was so bad we had to rewrite it before we could throw it away.
Now, listen, don't waste Miss Groper's time talking about your wretched poetry.
I know.
She's coming to hear about our work.
Yes, sir.
Besides, I want to tell her about my gardening notes.
Yes. Gardening notes?
Oh, yes. In my view, the magazine should carry a regular advice on gardening. And I am the man to supply it. Oh, I have a whole drawer full of articles on horticulture, you know. Yes. Oh, by the way, Mildred, that one I dictated last week, did I give it a title?
You called it, If You Can Do It in Your Garden, You Can Do It in Your Window Box.
Yes. Well, I shall demonstrate my prowess to Miss Groper and offer her a regular service.
Here, I've just remembered, sir.
Yes.
You were going to that factory tomorrow. Do you want me to cancel your visit?
No, Mildred, we mustn't let this publicity divert us from our work. We'll go to the factory in the morning. We have to inspect some sausages and pies for traces of protein.
This seems a very big concern, man.
Oh, one of the biggest in the country. You see their slogan everywhere. Ackroyd sausages and pies, no one can touch them. Hello. Are you the men from the ministry? Jolly Jack Ackroyd at your service. How do? Oh, Mr. Ackroyd, well, my name's Lennox-Brown, and this is Mr. Lamb.
We have some queries about your product.
Queries about my products? Oh, you'll not find better the length and breadth of the British Isles. All our pastries handmade by highly skilled girls. Here, you can try one of our pies.
All made by girls, you say?
Aye, and if you fancy any of our tarts, you're more than welcome. Well, looking at these in the display case, Mr. Ackroyd, I'd say there's too much fruit in them. You what? Too much? The Food Regulation Act of 1968, Section 3, Paragraph 7, clearly states that the fruit content of any tart, pie, or flan shall not exceed 4/9 of the overall volume unless planning permission has been obtained. Well, I'll be jiggered. Very possibly. I'll have a closer look if you'll pass me one. Would you care to give me a raspberry? Not half. Here you are, then.
Look, man, there aren't enough crinkles round the side of the pastry. They don't conform to Arts Council specifications.
Dear me. And look at those sausages over there. There's naught wrong with my sausages. And just hold out that tray of black puddings, would you? That's it, thank you.
That one in the corner's not black enough. It's all grey and wrinkled and nasty.
That's no black pudding, that's my thumb.
Oh. Well, these cooked meats over here clearly contravene the Trades Descriptions Act.
Trade Descriptions Act?
Yes. I don't believe your Scotch eggs come from Scotland at all.
Oh, by heck, I've stood enough of this. Get out, the pair of you.
But we haven't examined the sausages. Can we take them with us?
You can take them. In fact, I'll hang them around your neck for you. Now get out of here before I set the dog on you. You can't frighten us, my good man. We'll go when we're ready, and not before. As it happens, we're ready now. Come on, children. And don't come here again, or I'll do you.
Well, thank goodness you're back. I was quite worried about you.
We were worried about us, Mildred. That man in the factory turned very ugly.
Now, we've got to get ready for the interview.
Oh, Miss Groper just rang. She's on her way, sir.
Good. Now then, carnation in the buttonhole, I think. Remember what Sir Gregory said, too?
Yes?
I'll do most of the talking.
I suppose she might want some pictures.
Yes, well, I thought of that. I brought this one I had taken during the war.
Oh, may I see, sir?
Certainly there are.
Oh.
Yes.
I never realised you were in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yes. Well, I wasn't, exactly. No. It was taken during an amateur production of Rosemary. Yes. The civil service players, you know.
Well, I'll just go and tidy myself up for the interview. Take me rollers out and change my eyelashes.
Just a moment, Mildred. This interview won't involve you, you know. These articles only concern senior executives, you see.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'll go and get on with my knitting. Didn't want to be in the mouldy old magazine anyway.
Just pass my comb, would you? I'll just give my moustache a little touch of the final brush up. There we are.
What's all that paper on your desk?
Well, there's my articles on gardening.
Oh, yes. Let me see. The giant leek and its problems.
Yes.
The ideal bed, its roses every time. Never let your hollyhocks dangle.
Don't crease the pages, please. I want them to make a good impression on Miss Groper.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Miss Groper, editor of the Staff magazine.
Oh, come in, madam. Do.
Thank you.
Please, come in. Just have a seat, will you? This is Mr. Lamb.
How do you do?
Hello.
Yes, we're always glad to help the press, you know. Now, could you like this photograph of me, would you?
No, thank you. Actually, I brought along my own photographer, Mr. Armstrong.
Oh.
He's on his way, but he caught his tripod in the lift gates.
Then you'll want to hear about my career in the civil service.
Yes.
Well, I'm 35 years of age.
I beg your pardon?
45 years of age. And I run this department with energy and efficiency. I may say my position, you know, is of some importance.
Now I wonder if you could tell me what the General Assistance Department actually does. I mean, for instance, what did you do this morning, Mr. Lamb?
We were probing this chap's black puddings, and some of them weren't, and there were too many sausages on the chain, and he had all these tarts laid out, but they weren't crinkly enough, and when we told him, he turned very ugly.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Miss Groper. My colleague's been overworking lately, you see, and he refuses to take the tablets.
Oh, I see. Well, I must say, your department's always been something of a mystery to the rest of us.
It's always been something of a mystery to me, madam.
How fascinating. You mean there's an element of secrecy about your work?
Well, I can say in all honesty, it would be better not to talk about some of the things we've done.
Yes. What are your hobbies, Mr. Lennox-Brown?
Now, I'm glad you asked me that, yes. I wondered if I might be so bold as to show you my articles.
Pardon?
I'm an expert gardener, you see, and I've written several excellent pieces on the subject. I thought you might like to peruse them with a view to publication in your magazine.
This is his latest, Miss Groper. Have a dibble on your allotment.
And I have many more in that vein.
Oh, well, I hardly know what to say.
Well.
Oh, thank heavens, that will be Mr. Armstrong, my photographer.
Yoo-hoo, guess who? Oh, I'm sorry I'm late, but your lift gates are brutal. They close so quickly, they nearly ruin my long focus.
Good afternoon, young man. I'm Lennox-Brown, and this is Mr. Lamb here. He's the number 2 in this department, and I'm 1.
Oh, well, I am pleased to meet you.
We've not yet settled on our photo layout.
But never mind, I'm sure something will develop. Oh, get me with my ready repartee.
I see myself in profile, Mr. Armstrong, with a shaft of sunlight catching the edge of my bowler hat.
Yes, well then, let's start with you, Ducky.
Oh, right.
Well, I must say, this hasn't been my easiest assignment.
Well, never mind, Miss Groper. Think of the excitement when your piece comes out. A lot of people are going to be very interested.
But, comrade, life in Britain is tough for us spies at the moment. Yes, even for a big spy ring like mine. No, it wasn't always difficult. Britain was the ideal place for spies. Well, at worst, they left you alone. At best, you wrote for the Sunday papers. But now British counterintelligence are trying to stamp us out. They call it Operation Weed Killer. Well, what can I do? Well, we are trying to identify the men behind it. Then we'll put the pressure on them. No, they keep their intelligence department secret. No one knows who they are. Here's Brodsky now. I'll ring you back, comrade, if I have any news. Well, have you made any progress?
Is possible. As you suggest, I have studied every document connected with British government service.
And have you identified their intelligence department?
Maybe yes. In this rubbishy staff journal, I think I have, how you say, put the finger up them. See here, Lennox-Brown and Lamb of the General and Assistance Department.
You think it could be them?
Look at their photographs. No one could be that stupid. Read about their work. It's a complete nonsense. It must be, how you say, a front.
Let me see. Mr. Lennox-Brown said he was currently trying to ascertain what makes a sausage roll.
What sort of a job is that? And checking the wrinkles in pastry.
Poof! You're right. The pastry is obviously a cover.
They even admit here they admit that some of their work is secret. It could be Operation Weed Killer.
We'd better look into this.
But one thing puzzles me. They can't both be head of British intelligence.
Why not? 2 heads are better than 1. Brodsky, when the commissar makes a joke, you laugh with the eyes as well. Better. And now then, it'll be necessary for you to have a closer look at their office. A little visit, perhaps, using a clever disguise?
When shall we get rid of them sausages, Mr. Lamb? They don't look very pretty dangling from the hat stand.
I shall send them back to Ackroyd with a rather stiff letter. Got your pad?
Yes, sir.
Right, take this down. Dear Mr. Ackroyd, I return your sausages herewith. We find they do not conform to ministry standards, and the same is true of your factory. When we visited it, there was a most unpleasant smell from your obedient servant, Richard Lamb.
Right, Mr. Lamb.
Perhaps you could type it before Mr. Lennox-Brown gets back from lunch.
Excuse, please. Are you Mr. Lamb?
Yeah, that's right.
Then I would like with you the little chit-chats.
Blimey, who's this?
Probably one of those efficiency experts they keep sending round, Mildred.
Oh, yes, that is so. I am one of those efficiency experts they keep sending around Mildred.
But you're foreign, aren't you?
Foreign? Oh, Struth, no. I am from Oxford and Cambridge, old pip. God blimey.
Oh, yes, I recognize that MCC tie. I'll deal with this, Mildred. You go make some tea.
All right, then.
So you've come to check on our work.
Very true, old sport. Are you, how you say, topmost man here?
Well, I do most of the work, I don't mind telling you, but technically Mr. Lennox-Brown is in charge.
I am reading an article about you both where it says you are working with the Scottish eggs and Blackie puds.
Yes.
Tell me, this is not your main work.
Well, no. We've also been looking into gooseberry flams.
Please?
And mince pies.
Ah, spies at the Royal Mint.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you are a brave man, Mr. Lamb.
Well, yes, I suppose I am. I eat in the ministry canteen every day. Mind you, I never touched a goulash.
And you have on the hat stand sausages.
Ah, yes, but there's more in those sausages than meets the eye. To experts like us, those sausages say something.
You mean they have a message?
Definitely. This work we do is very important. Searching and probing and watching out for foreign bodies.
Now we come to the gritty-nitty.
Do we?
Do you know anything about weed killer?
Weed killer? No, that's not my line at all. You're thinking of my colleague.
So, Mr. Lennox-Brown is concerned with weed killer. Thank you, old fruit. You have given me much help.
Okay.
In return, I hope I can do you sometime. Doodle pitbull boy.
I didn't quite catch the name.
Brodsky. One of the Gloucestershire Brodsky's. Chin-chin.
Yes. Oh, a charming fellow. An Englishman of the old school.
Ah, well done, Brodsky.
It was simple, and so is this Richard Lamb. He almost admitted to me there was microfilm in the sausages.
But you think Lennox-Brown is the head of counterintelligence?
There is no doubt. He is in charge of Operation Weed Killer. He is their #1 spy catcher.
Then he is the one we must attend to.
You don't mean...
I do mean. I am mean. I shall kidnap Lennox-Brown and his papers. He will tell us their plans with a little persuasion.
Oh, I shall enjoy that.
Steady, Brodsky, you're sweating again. As ransom, we'll force the British to stop their activities against us.
Brilliant.
Yes, I shall visit his office tomorrow. A gun in the pocket will do the trick. We professionals, you see, understand each other.
You look very cheerful this morning, Mr. Lennox-Brown. The ends of your moustache have gone all twiddly.
Yes, I am cheerful, Mildred, you know. I had another talk with Miss Groper yesterday about my gardening notes.
And is she going to publish them?
Well, at least she agreed to read them, after I bought her a 6th gin and tonic. Yes, she's sending a man to collect them this morning.
Well, I never.
I'll speak to him alone, Mildred, and you've got an important job to do.
Righty-ho, sir. Tea for two and not too strong.
That's right, yes.
Oh, and I better nip down the canteen for some more biscuits.
Good. Now then, have all the papers ready. Expose your azaleas to the sun. These look good in print, don't they? Now this will be the fellow to collect them. No doubt a large cheque in his pocket. Come in.
Good morning, Mr. Lennox-Brown.
And good morning to you, my dear sir. Good morning.
I won't beat about the bush. We're interested in weed killer. We want your papers, and I'm going to take them with me.
Well, what can I say? They're all here, tied together with an elastic band.
It's good that we professionals understand each other. Yeah. We thought there was more to your life than sausages.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, that's just office routine. My real interest is in this stuff, you see. Yes, I've just completed some notes on pansies.
Pansies? You know, then, that we planted a few in the Foreign Office?
Oh, yes, they make quite a display in the entrance. Mind you, I don't plant them myself.
You don't plant them?
Oh, no. No, I'm a flower pot man.
Yes. What?
I'm rather proud of my pink peony. It's created a fair amount of interest, you know.
Well, perhaps we should get back to the matter at hand.
Yes?
I want to go over the ground slowly.
You do?
Yes, there's a lot I want to dig up.
Oh, now, just a moment. You can't do that.
Oh, no?
Certainly not, no. It's the wrong time of the year, you see.
I think we'd better continue this discussion elsewhere. Come with me, Lennox-Brown.
Oh, I'm afraid I can't just walk out of the office. I've only just arrived.
Oh, then I shall have to persuade you. I have something in my raincoat pocket that might make you change your mind.
Ah, yes. I thought you might have, yes. Well, in that case, my dear chap, I'll be happy to come with you.
Good.
Yes, I'd better just leave a note for my secretary to explain my absence.
No need, Mr. Lennox-Brown. I'll leave a note on your desk. I have one already prepared. There.
Really? Oh, how very thoughtful of you. Well, after you, my dear sir, please.
It's only me with a lovely cup of... Oh, blimey, he's gone again. Enough to make a girl spit.
Morning, Mildred. Sorry I'm late. Oh, Mr. Lennox-Brown not in yet?
Yeah, he's been, but he's just gone and went again.
Well, I'd better get on with these food conformity reports. We found some pretty serious offences. Some of them get quite cross. I can't think why. That Mr. Ackroyd at the pie factory was very angry.
I'll leave Mr. L.B.'s tea on his desk.
Good.
Oh. Yeah, what's this?
What's what?
This note. Look! We have kidnapped the head of your department. If you want to see him alive again, stop your meddling now.
Mildred, that can't be real, surely.
Well, who put it there if it weren't for real? And why did Mr. L.B. disappear like that? He never said he was going.
You mean they just came and took him away? But who'd want him? I mean, who'd want to... Oh, dear. It's those food manufacturers, isn't it? They'll stop at nothing.
Now then, I want to... What on earth's the matter with you, Miss Murphy? And, Lamb, why are you biting with telephone flicks?
It's Mr. Lennox-Brown, sir.
He's been kidnapped, Sir Gregory.
Kidnapped? Nonsense. He's probably sneaked round to see his bookie.
They left this note, sir.
Note? Well, let me see. Good Lord. He has been kidnapped.
Well, it's nothing to smile about, sir.
What? Yes, no, of course, it's very, very serious.
Shall I phone the police? If they act quickly, there's a better chance of finding him.
Well, the police are very busy these days. I wonder whether we should trouble them. Perhaps leave it for a week or two, what?
A week or two, but he's been kidnapped. Don't you want to see him alive again?
Well...
It could damage your promotion chances, Sir Gregory, if they hear you've lost an executive.
By Jove, you're right. We must move at once, or even sooner. Alert the police, Miss Mervyn. I'll call out the troops.
What about offering a reward for his return?
How much in the petty cash?
£4.50p. Oh, dear, that's hardly appropriate.
Well, never mind. We'll offer half. Oh, and Lamb.
Yes, Sir Gregory?
Inform the BBC.
And here is the news read by John Curl. A senior government official was kidnapped from his Whitehall office this morning. The man, Deryck Lennox-Brown, is believed to have been working at the time, but otherwise things were normal. Office workers later described the strange man they'd seen in the building, and police issued an identikit picture of the intruder. This resulted in the arrest of David Frost. Mr. Frost was released after pointing out that all identikit pictures looked like him. Mr. Lennox-Brown is described as thin and greying, with moustache, bowler hat and glasses. Over 5,000 men answering to this description have been reported in the Whitehall area, but none was the missing man. The search continues.
Still no news of Mr. Lennox-Brown?
No, Mildred, not a word.
Here! What are you doing sitting in his chair?
Oh, was I? Yes. I was just trying it out in case he doesn't... in case he never... in case they ask me to take over.
How could you, Mr. Lamb?
Good news, you two. Parker of Pensions heard about the kidnap on the news. He's at home with his chest, and he saw Lennox-Brown being hustled into a house in his road.
That's probably very...
Yes, 2 burly men were with him, and one probably had a gun. Lennox-Brown seemed pale and was talking a lot. Now, I'm organizing a police raid at once. You'd better come then.
Oh, will there be any shooting, Sir Gregory?
There might be, but don't worry, I'll be right behind you.
Well, I only hope we're in time.
You'd better stay here, Miss Merton. It may not be a pretty sight. We think we know who these men are, and they're desperate.
Oh, poor Mr. Lennox-Brown.
Terrible things may be happening in that house.
It's no use pleading on your knees like that. I have no mercy. Stand up and be a man.
No! I cannot listen to Lennox-Brown anymore. He's talked about gardening for 5 hours. He's driving me out from my mind.
You fool, Brodsky. It's not really gardening. It's some sort of cunning code.
It is gardening. All we heard this morning was a lot of fertilizer.
Yes, well, pull yourself together, man. We're going back in there, and you will write down what he says. Now then, Lennox-Brown, it's time you told us your secrets in plain language.
Oh, my dear chap, have I been too technical for you? I'm so sorry about that. You see, we experts do tend to have our own jargon, you see. Well, I mean, it really boils down to plenty of good old-fashioned horse manure. Dig it well in.
Oh!
Yes, a hoe is ideal for the task, yes. And plenty of compost, of course. Mulch round the roots.
I'm sorry, I must get out of here.
Of course, in a small bed, it's not a bad idea to rotate your blooms, especially in the summer.
Don't play games, Lennox-Brown.
Oh, quite right, old chap. Never play games near a flower bed. Can ruin your pinks.
My friend, you are running out of time.
It's amazing how it flies when you're enjoying yourself, isn't it? Look, I'd better be off now, but perhaps I could pop in again tomorrow, eh?
Oh, Lennox-Brown, I would... Come on, Sergeant! Come in there! What the devil's that?
Hold on to them, Inspector. I'll look in here. Ah, you're here, Lennox-Brown.
Good gracious, Sir Gregory, what a pleasant surprise. How are you, sir? Well, why are all these policemen here?
You get out of here, Lennox-Brown, and quickly, man.
Well, it is getting rather late, yes. Well, good night, Mr. Shaw. Good night to you, sir. And I must say that I have enjoyed our chat.
Well, the game's up, Shaw. The house is surrounded, and your men have been arrested. Take him away, Inspector. He's a dangerous enemy agent. Oh, and, when you write your report, just remember that I caught him.
You mean to say those chaps weren't from the Civil Service magazine?
Oh, Mr. One, how simple can you be? Those men were dangerous villains.
They certainly were. They kept my gardening notes and didn't pay me.
Did you hear that, Mildred? Mr. Lennox-Brown still thinks they were after his gardening notes.
Well, never mind, sir. It's just nice to have you back in the office.
Oh, thank you, Mildred. And now, too, if you've finished laughing, perhaps you'll just tell me what this is all about.
I'm sorry, One, but you are so incredibly naive. I saw the whole thing at once.
Well, come on, then, come on.
Those two men were maniac pie makers in the pay of a vast illegal sausage ring. They were trying to stop our food conformity campaign.
Well, I never. I must say, now you say that, it all makes sense. Yeah. Well, they won't stop us.
Quite right.
I suggest we crack on at once with further research into food and drink. If Mildred will bring in the samples.
And which particular samples did you want, sir?
I think you can guess, Mildred, can't you? A pot of tea for 3 and a plate of ginger nuts.
Very clever. Right away.
Sampling life as the men from the ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma, Ronald Baddiley and John Graham. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor.